guys, and welcome back to Reading Club. Today I'm going to read you a new book. It's called Dirty Bertie, Fetch, and it's also divided into 3 stories. The first story is called Fetch, and the second story is called Royal, and the third story is called Wedding. Today I'm going to read you the first story, Fetch. Chapter 1, Ding Dong. Bertie, can you get that? Called Mum. Bertie scooted into the hall and opened the front door. Special delivery, said the postman, handing him a brown parcel. It was addressed to Master Bertie Burns. Wait a minute, that was him. I got a present, he yelled, bursting into the kitchen. It's not fair, grumbled Susie. Why didn't I get anything? 'Cause no one likes you, said Bertie, sticking out his tongue. Mum was looking at the postmark. It must be a late birthday present. I think it's from Uncle Ed in America. Bertie gasped. Rich Uncle Ed. He sent the coolest present. It's even if they never arrive on time. Bertie tore off the wrapping paper. He stared. It wasn't. It couldn't be. It's a toy dog, said Susie. No, it isn't. It's a robo-dog, whooped Bertie. He read the label tied around the collar. Hi there, my name is Tiny. Train me to do awesome tricks. Take care of me and I'll be your best buddy. Warning, keep away from water. This was the best present ever. Better even than the prehistoric dino poop Darren had given him for his birthday. Think of all the things he could do with a robot. Tiny could keep intruders out of Bertie's bedroom. He trained him to bark at Miss Boot and to bite Noel Nick. Wait till his friends heard about this. He'd be the envy of the whole school. Whiffer trotted over and sniffed Tiny suspiciously. What kind of dog was this? It didn't even smell like a dog. Susie folded her arms. So what does it do then? I have to train him first, replied Bertie, reading the instructions. He found a switch on Tiny's back and flicked it on. Click! Tiny stirred into life. His eyes flashed red and his head wagged from side to side. Bertie set him on the ground and grabbed the remote control, pressed a button. Sit, Tiny, he commanded. Beep, beep, click, click. Tiny folded his back legs and sat down. Amazing, gasped Dad. Wonderful, said Mum. Whiffer looked puzzled. No one ever got this excited when he sat down. Lie down, Tiny, said Bertie. Click. Tiny lay down. Now for the big one, thought Bertie. Come, Tiny, he said, patting his knees. Come to me. Click, beep, beep. Tiny's little legs began to move and he plodded jerkily across the floor. Look, he's doing it! He's walking! Cried Bertie. Oh, isn't that sweet? Said Mum. Whiffer growled. He'd seen quite enough. It was time to put this imposter in his place. Grrr! He pounced, pinning Tiny to the floor. Beep! Where? Grrr! No, Whiffer, bad boy, yelled Bertie, grabbing him by the collar and yanking him off. Whiffer hung his head. What had he done now? Bertie opened the back door and shoved him towards it. Out! Wham! The door slammed shut. Whiffer padded to the window and watched everyone crowded round the new dog, smiling and clapping. His ears drooped. What was going on? One moment he was Bertie's best friend. The next, he'd been replaced by a flat-faced mutt who walked like a puppet. Well, he wasn't taking this lying down. He'd do the pesky Pooch, who was top dog. Chapter 2. Next morning, Whiffer lay in wait for the postman. Before long, a pile of letters thudded onto the mat. Woof, woof! He bounded into the hole excitedly. Where, beep, beep. Too late. Teeny had got there first. He scooped up the letters in his mouth and trundled past with red eyes flashing. Whiffer drooped after him into the kitchen. Teeny stopped beside Dad and wagged his tail. Peep! Ruff, ruff! Dad looked down. Well, look at this. Teeny's brought the post. Who's a clever boy? He patted the little robot on the head and took the letters. I've been training him, said Bertie proudly. Roll over, Teeny. Teeny rolled over. I must say, he's very well behaved, Mum smiled. Not like some dogs I could mention. He does everything I tell him, said Bertie. Watch this. He pressed a green button on the remote control. Dance, Teeny, where click, zoop, zip. Teeny music blared out, and Teeny rocked from side to side, performing a cute little dance. Oh, that's so sweet, cooed Susie. Dad looked up from his letter. Yes, and what's more, he doesn't leave hairs on the sofa. Or go crazy when the doorbell goes, said Mum. And he won't poo on Mrs. Nicely's lawn, said Susie. They all turned to look at Whiffer. Woof, barked Whiffer. Finally, someone was paying him some attention. His bowl was empty and he was starving. He picked it up and dripped it at Dad's feet. Dad went on reading his letter. Whiffer padded over to Mum, but she was busy talking to Susie. What was the matter with everyone? He carried his bowl over to Bertie and plonked it down. Woof! He barked, gazing up at Bertie with big, sad eyes. That usually did the trick. Not now, Whiffer. I'm busy, sighed Bertie, fiddling with the remote. Whiffer stared. What was going on? His bowl was empty. Wasn't anyone going to notice? After lunch, Darren and Eugene came round to play. Bertie had told them all about Teeny. He took them out into the garden to show off some of Teeny's tricks. Whiffer trailed after them, hoping to play fetch or chew the slipper. Usually Darren made a fuss of him, but today he didn't seem to notice he was there. Are you a robot? Gasped Darren. You lucky thing. You could teach him to bring you breakfast in bed, said Eugene. And do your homework. It was a tempting idea, thought Bertie, but the instruction booklet only listed 10 top tricks like sit, fetch, and beg. All the same, that was 10 more tricks than Whiffer could do. Whiffer was about as obedient as a lemon meringue. Orange. The thing about Teeny was you could take him anywhere. He didn't bark, he didn't whine, and he didn't run off chasing squirrels. And best of all, Bertie was the only one of his friends who had a robo-dog. Just a trick, said Darren. Okay, said Bertie. Teeny, lie down. Where, click, click, Teeny lay down. Good boy, said Bertie. Teeny, roll over. Teeny rolled over. Show me how you beg. Teeny sat up and raised both paws. His ears flopped pathetically. Wicked, laughed Darren. Brilliant, cried Eugene. Whiffer watched in disbelief. This was too much. Woof, woof! He bounded over and began chasing his tail in circles. What's up with him? Asked Darren. Bertie shrugged. Don't know. He's been acting weird ever since I got Teeny. Teeny showed them how he could play dead. He did his little dance. He plodded over to a tree and cocked his leg. Darren and Eugene laughed as if it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen. Whiffer stared. This was so unfair. When he weed against the gate, he got in big trouble. And wait till you see this, said Bertie, picking up a stick. Fetch, Teeny! He threw the stick over Teeny's head. Whiffer saw his chance. He might not be able to dance, but no one was faster at fetching sticks. He leaped past Bertie, bounding after the stick. Woof, woof, woof! Hey, someone led him by the collar. Someone had him by the collar. Sorry. No, Whiffer, leave it, shouted Bertie. Wah, beep, click, click. Teeny trundled over and picked up the stick in his mouth. He brought it back to Bertie and dropped it at his feet. Bertie patted his head. Clever boy, who's a good boy? Whiffer growled. Call that a stick? He showed that stack of pup how to fetch. He looked around. Aha! What about the giant stick propping up the washing line? He bounded across the lawn and seized the clothes. clothes pour up in his mouth. Thwang, the washing line sagged to the ground, dragging Mum's sheets in the mud. Just at that moment, Mum stuck her head out the back door. Bertie, have you seen my... Ugh, look at my washing, it's filthy. It wasn't me, said Bertie, it was Whiffer. Whiffer tottered over, carrying the giant pole in his mouth. He dropped it at Mum's feet and wagged his tail, looking pleased with himself. Mum glared at him. Bad boy, get inside. Chapter 3. Over the next week, Whiffer's behaviour only got worse. On Tuesday, he left a puddle on the landing. On Wednesday, he hid a filthy bone in Mum and Dad's bed. On Thursday, he tried to bury Teeny's remote control in the garden. By Friday, Mum and Dad had enough. They sat Bertie down for a serious talk. This has got to stop, said Mum. It can't go on, sighed Dad. Bertie looked blank. What were they talking about? He hadn't kept worms in his room for ages, at least not anywhere they'd be found. What have I done now? He said. It's not you, it's Whiffer, said Dad. He's driving us crazy. He keeps bringing sticks and bones into the house, said Mum. He weed on the carpet. He follows us everywhere. That's not my fault, grumbled Bertie. He's your dog, said Dad. You're supposed to look after him. I do. You don't, said Mum. Not since you got Teeny. Who took Whiffer to the park this week? Who fed him? Who cleared up his mess? Bertie stared at his feet. Perhaps he had neglected Whiffer a bit. But that was because he had so much to do. Teeny was just a puppy and he still needed training. Besides, it was so much fun. Mum folded her arms. I'm sorry, Bertie, but this isn't working. Whiffer's jealous. Jealous? Said Bertie. Yes, he doesn't like having another dog around, and you ignoring him only makes it worse. I won't ignore him, said Bertie. I'll look after them both. Mum looked at Dad. All right, she said. We'll give it one more week. The Whiffer's got to stop driving us mad, said Dad. Chapter 4. Whiffer, walkies! Woof, woof! Whiffer flew out of the kitchen and pinned Bertie to the wall. It was ages since they'd gone for walkies. Walkies meant the park, and the park meant squirrels. Good boy, said Bertie, clipping on his lead. Teeny's coming too. Whiffer growled and showed his teeth. Not the mangy little monger. Bertie opened the front door and Whiffer took off, dragging him down the path. Teeny wobbled along behind, beeping and whirring. This is great, thought Bertie. Me and my dogs, all friends together. The park was full of people walking their dogs. There were tall boxers, yappy terriers and fluffy poodles, but nobody else had a dog like Teeny. The other children crowded around Bertie enviously. Wow, is he yours? Asked a little curly-haired girl. Yes, said Bertie. He's called Teeny. Want to see him dance? Bertie made Teeny perform every one of his tricks. The crowd gasped and clapped. Whiffer looked away, bored. Can we fetch my ball? Asked the little girl. He can fetch anything, said Bertie. Taking the rubber ball, he sent the ball bouncing across the grass. Fetch, Teeny! Click, click, where? He set off. The Whiffer had seen the ball too. In a blur of speed, he overtook the robot. Seconds later, he was back, dropping the ball at Bertie's feet and wagging his tail. No, said Bertie. Whiffer, stay. Let Teeny get this one. Bertie threw the ball as far as he could. Whiffer forgot all about stay. He was much better at fetch. He set off, racing past Teeny to get there first. The ball bounced towards the pond. Doink, doink, plop. Teeny, no, come back, yelled Bertie. Too late. Whiffer plunged into the water, scattering ducks in all directions. Teeny followed, beetling along behind. Splash, whir, beep, blub, blub, bloop. Bubbles rose to the surface. Teeny, called Bertie. Teeny, silence. He can't swim, said the little girl. Bertie stared. A moment later, Whiffer arrived like a hurricane on four legs and flattened him on the grass. He was muddy, dripping wet and clutching. a rubber ball. He dropped it on the grass and barked excitedly. Woof, woof! No! Get off! Giggled Bertie as Whiffer licked his face. He got up and ruffled with his fur. Good boy, he said. Tell you what, let's see if there's any squirrels. Woof! Whiffer took off like a furry bolt of lightning. Bertie ran to catch up. Teeny had been okay for a robot, but there really wasn't anyone like good old Whiffer. That's the end of this channel. If you liked it, please click many likes and subscribe Reading Cup. I'll come back tomorrow with a new and improved channel. Bye everybody!